What it is, what it do, cyber world, it is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It, ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. We appreciate all the love and support, you guys. Yes, we're on the brink of 500,000 streams worldwide. Wow. 2018 is going to be an amazing, phenomenal year for us, and we appreciate all of the support, all the love, all the shares. Everything makes a huge, huge difference. So today, I'm joined by founder and CEO of the Premier Agency and also host of the Culturation podcast, Justin Epstein. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We appreciate you so very much. And, I know that you don't do these too often. It's usually your clients that are talking, but we're getting you chatting up today a little bit.
Okay. I'll try to come out of my shell a little bit.
A little bit. All right, Justin. Let our audience know, where are you from? Where do you represent?
Yeah, so currently reside in the ATL. Been here for probably about 10 to 12 years now and, consider this home now at this point. But previously came from South Florida before moving here.
When you were a kid, what was your ideal career?
Oh, wow. Probably, so there was three things that I was really heavily into as a kid. One, sports, right out the gate. So, wanted to be a basketball player. Realized that, being 5'6", 5'7", probably wasn't the ideal play. So got into soccer and tennis and a few other things and elected to go play soccer was kind of my big sport choice at that point. Big into the arts at a young age, so a lot of drawing. And then outside of that, music was always a big passion.
Now, your background, you've got a lot to do with publishing, advertising, a lot of the entertainment stuff. When you were dealing with different companies and different brands, what did you see that a lot of them were missing the mark on?
I think with a lot of brands or just a lot of businesses in general, it's understanding who you are first and foremost. So I think a lot of times brands or companies look at the industry itself and kind of look at themselves and compare it to what it should be or what it is, when instead we all kind of have our own DNA, our own outlook, our own ideology behind, what can make our brand successful in that space. So a lot of times it's really starting from the ground on up and looking at from a surface level about, who we are, who do we want to be, and then once you kind of identify that, then you can kind of proceed and move forward.
What were some of the key points that you wanted to make sure that you hit on when creating Premier?
I think authenticity is number one. I think a lot of times when you're truthful to who you are and what you want to be and have a clear kind of defined goal, it makes it much easier to kind of push forward. But what I really wanted to do was just create something really raw, organic, and something that I would like, something that incorporated a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of consumer goods, hospitality, lifestyle, and blend them all together.
What was one of your first challenges that you faced when starting Premier?
Wow, what wasn't a challenge? I think when I started Premier, I want to say like 23. Your knowledge and your business acumen at that point is limited, right? Because you haven't experienced certain real life situations and you haven't really gone through trials and tribulations in the business world to that level yet. So really it was just kind of figuring it out as I went, which I think a lot of people, that scares them, or they feel like, it's a loss if they can't figure it out. To me, I look at it as like a lesson. And perfect example, I had a conversation with my team about this the other day, just their growth and, different individuals and, how much I've seen them improve. And I explained to everybody really where that comes from is just experience. The more things happen, the more different scenarios play out, the better advised and better suited you are to address them without having to think it through as much. So a lot of it's just time.
And what would you say has been one of your proudest moments in, a little over, you guys are celebrating a decade next year, woo-woo, 2018.
Yeah, believe it or not.
What would you say is a proud moment for you?
Honestly, to just have people invest into me and my vision. That right there, I always tell my team and I tell anybody I speak to, if you don't take care of the people that take care of you, you're not going to be successful. And I think for people to give up their livelihood and to invest into you and to see your vision come to life, that's been my proudest moment. To know that people have entrusted their livelihood with me and believe in me and the vision enough to want to support it and be part of it.
All right, Justin, so we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of these brands that you've happened to snatch up, and I'm sure there was a duel out to the finish for it, but, you guys got the top spot on it. And you guys hang tight. We'll be right back.
Isn't it crazy how much we pay for new brand name clothes? Stop driving store to store and sifting through dozens of racks. Shop millions of clothes in seconds on swap.com. Swap.com is the world's largest online consignment and thrift store. With Swap.com, you can shop up to 90% off retail price on your favorite brands like Lululemon, Carter's, Nike, J.Crew, and Gap. Between 6,000 to 10,000 new items are added daily. If something doesn't fit, enjoy hassle-free returns within 30 days, no questions. So what are you waiting for? Shop Swap.com and use promo code AshDaily40 for your 40% off today.
Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily podcast show. We are talking to Mr. CEO here. He's a bigwig around the Atlanta area, Metro ATL, represented to the fullest. Justin Epstein, thank you so much for joining us today.
I must say, I got to appreciate that intro. Far from the truth, I'm not that big of a deal.
You're pretty important.
It makes me sound way cooler than I am.
Oh no, you're very important. Yes, very, very important. I mean, you've worked with, your roster, all right? The client roster that you have is pretty doggone impressive, all right? Cadillac, Porsche, anheuser-busch, True Story brands, and one of my dearest, most favoritist brands in the whole wide universe, the Bert Show.
Great show.
Amazing show. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Bert Show. Me, I'm basically an Atlanta native. I've been listening to the Bert Show since I was like a freaking junior in high school, and I've loved watching the evolution of the show. And it just, I love Bert to pieces. I've told him many times.
That's awesome.
Yes, but how did you guys make the connection, and how did you land that deal?
I think it happens like a lot of our deals. It's just very organic. So a lot of these start out as where we're fans of these brands. We're friends with these individuals, and just we believe in what they're doing. And just through, time and crossing paths and opportunities, a lot of these things just kind of organically and naturally evolve. But also I think during that time too, Bert's Big Adventure, which is their foundation, a lot of the people on our agency and our team were either, fairy grandparents or donating time to that cause. So I think already kind of being invested and having already a, passion behind what they were doing in the community, not just from the show standpoint, but from the foundation standpoint, I think also kind of built that rapport and that trust. And it was just kind of a natural evolution. And, fortunately we ended up having the opportunity to work with them, and now it's been a few years now, and couldn't be happier and honored to work on such an awesome client and be part of such a great show and foundation.
Huge shout to Justin Anthony. Huge shout out to True Story Brands. My favorite food. You guys can catch me at Cape Dutch, Yabo. I'm a little bit of everywhere now, but Yabo is one of my favorites. So y'all, if you haven't been to Yabo,
great spot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's tough. I mean, the biggest problem with Justin's restaurants is figuring out which one you want to go to. They're all so good.
Oh my gosh! Like I don't think I've ever really been to a restaurant brand like that, to where every restaurant is just, they hit it on the mark every time. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And I think what Justin's really figured out, and which has been great to kind of work with him, is that he took a new cuisine that most people are not familiar with in the States, being South African cuisine, and really kind of owning that space, and not just the sense of the food, but the community that he offers within his establishment. And the atmosphere, I think, is what is a big part of Justin's success. And overall, he's just an amazing guy and a good person, first and foremost.
It is, because like you said, it's just the atmosphere that they build there. Like, you almost feel like you're at home, or you're at someone's house.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that also stems from just his upbringing. If you ever meet his mother and father, who also in the space, I mean, everything's about community and home and welcoming people and, surrounding, whether it be holidays or just like life accomplishments around food. And I think that's very evident, and you can taste it, you can smell it, you can see it at any of his restaurants.
Now, Justin, with all your experience under your belt and everything that you've been able to walk through and figure out along the way, what advice would you offer to this new generation that's coming up?
I mean, to me, it's really simple. It's all about putting in the work. And I think, a lot of people these days, especially the younger generation, are looking at things like social media and TV, reality shows, and while they're all good and entertaining, and they hold some value as far as brands go, at the end of the day, it's also giving a false sense of success and what it really takes. And I try to say it all the time, a lot of people look at people as overnight successes, but they don't realize that's 10, 20 years in the making for that person to now be visible.
Right.
Whether you look at a music artist, an athlete, a business owner, it just doesn't happen. And I think at the end of the day, it's who's willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
If you put in the work, if you dedicate the time, you're going to succeed. It's how bad you want it.
This is very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Justin, for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for making me a big star.
You got this already. You're already a big star in our eyes, and even more now. Now more and more people are going to know about you. So we appreciate that, and we love you for that. And thank you all for tuning into the show, for all your downloads, all your love and support. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice. It's cool. It's fun. But real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.